Hello everyone, welcome to Geeks for Geeks. So let's talk about today's problem. Our problem name is 01 knapsack problem. So let's first read the question. Our question said you are given a weight and the values of n items. Put these items in a knapsack of capacity W to get the maximum total value in the knapsack. Right? We just have to note like that we have only one quantity of each item, right? That's a note point. Okay. In other words, we can say that we have two integers array. First is value array and second one is corresponding to that particular value we have weighted array, right? And which represent a value and weight associated with n items respectively. Also given an w integer which represent knapsack capacity, whatever the capacity of that particular knapsack we have, right? And find out the maximum value subset of val such that the sum of weighted of that particular subset is smaller than or equal to w, right? So you can break an item, you cannot break an item, sorry, either pick the complete item or do not pick, right? So here we can say that it's 01 knapsack problem, either take it or do not take it, right? So the first example is this. So you can visualize like that key this particular w is like 4 right now, right? So that's your carry bag. For example, you go to the mall and you have a carry bag which is of capacity w, which is 4, right? And the task is you just have to put that particular elements, right? So where the value will be more, right? Because at the end of the day I just want my output will be maximum, right? And you just have to take care of the weight as well, right? For example, let's make here array. So the value array will be 1 2 3 and your weight array will be 4 5 1, right? And this is your value array and this is your weight array. Okay, so this is your weight array. So see, this is your capacity, right? And if you take that particular element first value, your profit, your value will be 3, right? And before taking that particular thing, you just have to ask, okay, that particular weight is 1, can we take it or not? My budget is 4, but that particular weight is 1, can I add that particular element in my bag or not? They said okay, you can. So what I'm doing is I take that particular value and move forward, right? So that's the first thing, right? So you have to take two things in your mind. First is if you can buy. So let's take this first. See, you have two options, right? First is can buy, right? If you can buy, what you have to do is you have two options here as well, right? So if you go to the mall and that particular thing is in our budget, what do? Either you buy it, either you are searching for great, right? Or other part, right? So you can buy it or not buying it, right? Like this. Okay. So if second thing, that particular thing is in budget, right? That is in a budget. Now assume like that you see that particular element which is not in your budget, right? Okay, not in your budget. What do? You simply go for another part, right? You just search for another items, right? So in that case, you are simply not buying it, right? Not buying it. Okay. So if you that particular thing is in budget, you buy it or do not buy it, right? Okay. If it's not in the budget, you simply go ahead of it, right? You just have to visit another item. That's the two things you have to keep in mind. Okay. So that means it's a 01 knapsack. That what you do in your daily life, right? Okay. Now see, for example, first thing, let's talk about its base case. For example, when you go to the mall, right? And for example, your W key value is 0, means your capacity of knapsack will be 0. You have n items here in mall. Can you buy anything? Just think about it. You are not able to buy it, right? Because your capacity said, I do not have capacity, it's 0. Immediately return 0. That's your answer, right? Now think, you go to the mall and your capacity will be 10, for example, and your n size will be 0, right? So your size of val and size of weight, both the array will be 0. It means you go to the mall, you have budget, you have capacity 10, but you are not able to buy it because all the items are sold out, right? You are not able to buy it. So in that particular case also, your answer will be 0. Just return 0. That's the two base case which you have to keep in mind, right? And the rest will be simple. If that particular thing is in budget, buy it or do not buy it, because at the end of the day I want the maximum output, right? That's the thing you have to keep in mind. In the second case, if it's not in your budget, you have only one option, just search another item which is in your budget, right? Now see how we can solve this. So let's copy paste this and let's do the dry run of this. Okay, now see what I'm telling you is very simple. So see, the problem is simple. Right now we have a function, right, where we have the n size, which is 3, and my budget in this case is 4, right? My weight of capacity is 4, right? Okay, so let me write, this is my n value, which is size of your array, and this is w, knapsack capacity, right? Now, right now, let's start from the end. We are here, right? We are here. Now I'm asking, my budget is 4, capacity is 4, right? Is this 1? Can we buy it or not? Yes, you can. What I'm doing is, I simply take max of either buy it. If I buy it, what's the value? 3. Let's add 3 plus, simply go one step back so that we can go forward. And what is now my budget? What's my capacity? It's 4. If I buy this and that particular thing in my answer, now what is my weight left? What's my weight of knapsack left? W minus whatever the weight of this, right? So this is 3, right? And max of either buy it or do not buy it. If I do not buy it, what's my f function? Simply go one step back, right? I don't want to, I'm not interested to buy that, right? And what's your weight? Capacity, which is same, right? Because we are not buying it, right? That's it. Now when we reach here, this is my n, this is my w, right? Now it means my pointer will be lie n minus 1, which is this. I'm asking, can we buy this item? Your capacity is 3. Can we buy this? No, we are not able to buy it. What I'm doing is, I simply go one step back, which is n, and what's your weight? Weight is same, right? Like this, right? Okay. Now see, where my control will lie now in this part, we are here, right? N minus 1. So can we buy this? Your weight is 4, right? Can we buy it? No, because my W is 3, which is less. What I am doing is, I simply go one step back, right? This is it. Now my N will be 0. It means all the items are skipped, right? Now can we say that it's 0? Because it's my base case, right? Here we have 0. Here we have 0. Can we say that? Yes, we can say that, right? Now let's see in this part. Okay, in this part, this is my N, this is my W. Now my pointer will lie here, right? And can we buy this? Can we buy this? No, we are not, because your capacity is 4 and that particular weight is 5. We are not able to buy it. What I am doing is, I simply skip that particular value and weight will be same, right? Okay. After that, we are pointing to this part, right? Whatever the value of n you have, you just have to extract the index of it. You point index of it n minus 1, right? N is 1, n minus 1, which is this. So can we buy this? Yes, we can, because value is 4 and this is also 4, right? In that particular case, what I am doing is, we take the max of it. I buy that particular element. Val is 1. Let's add 1 plus f of 0 and whatever size capacity left, 4 minus 4, which is 0, right? Else what we have to do is, we just have to skip that part, right? If I skip that part, n will be 0 like this. So this is 0 base case, this is 0 base case, 1 plus 0 and 0. What is max? 1. Let's write here 1. This is 1, right? Now in that particular case, we get 3, and in that particular case, we get 1, right? What we can take, 3 or 1? We have to take the 3, because at the end, I want the maximum answer, right? Like this. So if you see your output, this is 3, right? Like this. So two things you have to keep in mind. First thing is, if it's in budget, either you buy it or do not buy it, right? Max of these two things. If it's not in your budget, not an option, right? You just have to search for next item, right? Like this. Now the base case is simple. If your mall items will be empty, right? All are sold out. You are not able to buy it, right? Simply return 0 if your n is 0, right? Now second is, if your capacity W is 0, again whatever the value of n we have, whatever the items in my mall we have, we are not able to buy it because my knapsack capacity is 0, right? Return 0 in that case. That's it. So let's code this now. So here I simply make the helper function, right? And we just add all the things which we have, right? Okay. Now the task will be given to your helper function to complete my task. So let's copy paste this. Okay. Now the base case is very clear. If your W is 0, or if the value of n is 0, in that particular case, what we have to return is, we simply return 0 in that case, right? That's my base case. After that, what we have to do is, if my capacity is greater than or equal to your current item, right? In that particular case, what we have to do is, take the max First, let's buy that particular item. That's why we take val of n minus 1 plus. Call the helper function and W will be reduced now because we buy that particular item. So that we have to pay the amount of your weight, right? Like this, right? After that, the val will be same and n will be minus 1, right? And if we are not able to buy it, what we have to do is we just have to do the W is same and weight will be same, right? And val will be same and n minus 1. Okay, in the else part we just write W and weight, right? Val and simple, go to the next element, right? Like this. That's the two-step problem. Let's check it's working fine or not. Okay, give me error. Let's solve this error. In that part case, W minus WT n minus 1. Okay, no matching function here. We just do a mistake. Okay, W will be this. Okay, we just have to pass WT as well, right? Like this. Let's check it's working or not now. Yeah, I think it's working now. Yeah, it's correct. Let's submit and check. It's giving me TLE. If it's giving me TLE, it means my recursive code is good, right? Yeah, it's giving me TLE, right? Now you know that when we give the TLE, recursive is okay, right? Now it's time to just convert that particular thing in your memoization. So what we have to do in the memoization part, let's first check how many variables we have. Two variables. Your capacity knapsack will change and n will change. It means the problem is based upon 2D array, right? What I'm doing is I simply make the memo array, right? Now let's check the constraint part. N key max value is 1000 and W key max value is 1000. So what I'm doing is I create the size 2D array based upon my constraint, and using the memset function, I simply initialize all the values as your -1, right? And at the end we just have to pass memo array in my helper function like this. Now let's complete the helper function, and here we just have to pass the memo array, right? Like this. And after that what we have to do is, as we know, when we do the base cases, we just have to ask from my database that particular thing is already calculated or not, right? So what we have to do is wn, if it's not equal to -1, because initially we initialize as -1. If it's not -1, it means that particular thing is already calculated, right? Before going into depth of it, do not go into depth of it finding again. Just check in the database if it's calculated or not. If it's calculated, return from that, right? And after that, whatever we calculated, let's make a rest variable so that we can save somewhere for, so that we can use that particular thing in future, right? So that's the simple intuition of your DP, right? We save the problem, we save the value, right? And return that. That's it, what we have to do. Let's compile and check it's working or not. Okay, it's again giving me some error. Okay, so we just have to pass the memo function as well here. Okay, let's check it's now working or not. Yeah, it's working. Let's submit and check now. Okay, yeah, all the cases are passed, right? So that's a simple idea to solve this problem. Now let's talk about time complexity of this. So as we convert that particular thing in 2D array, right? So that particular thing will be something like that, whatever the variable size you have. So the first one is your W and the second one is N. So it's 2D array and we make the 2D array. So that's why its time complexity is depend upon N into W, right? Because we solve that problem using this two variables, right? And the space complexity is we use the memset function, right? Memo array we make. That particular thing is also depending on the value of this, right? Like this is my space, extra space we are using in this problem, right? I hope you understand the solution and intuition. Thank you so much.